Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope you all are having a great day. It's the weekend. It's Saturday. We've got the Senior Bowl in the book, which was the opportunity for coaching staffs and scouts to be able to get an extended look and have a conversation with potential draft picks and things in 3 weeks. Just 3 weeks from now, we've got the combine. So things are happening really, really quick, and our Cowboys are working on getting their staff together. Now, the Cowboys have interviewed Tashard Choice. Now, interesting thing about Tashard Choice, he's kind of deemed the running back whisperer, so to speak. He's worked with guys like Bijan Robinson and things like that, and has been a very, very well-established coach. The only problem is he's making about $750,000, which for an NFL running back coach would be high. And so it might be a money issue, knowing that we are dealing with Stephen Jones. They are ending up bringing in another coach that they're also talking to as well. But speaking of the coaching staff and what's happening so far, it was interesting listening to Momo, who is a Commanders fan, who all of a sudden has visions of grandeur. It's amazing that after being a 34-year loser, 34-year loser, and having one good year, all of a sudden they feel like they've arrived. And I want to remind Commander fans and everybody out there that the NFL is so crazy that from one year to the next, you don't know what a team is going to be. San Francisco 49ers, I believe they're drafting ahead of us after being in the Super Bowl last year. The New York Giants, after making the playoffs, winning a playoff game, have been one of the worst teams the last 2 years after being a playoff team. And for those out there that say, well, the Cowboys, they are going to be stuck, and suck next year. Well, quite frankly, you look at what the Commanders did, it wouldn't be out of the equation for the Cowboys to turn it around next year, especially if they're just healthier. We won 7 games with literally playing players, some of which we never even heard of. We had $110 million of our salary cap on injured reserve. So I think that we have an opportunity to get better. Now, as Drew and some of them pointed out, you're going to have a new defensive coordinator. Well, yeah, you're right. But it's not like our defense did a lot of things this year early on. I remember our defense, oh boy, our defense 2 or 3 games could not force a punt. We literally weren't getting any takeaways at one point. Our defense was atrocious. Our running game was atrocious. And so I don't know what it'll be next year, but I got to think that with just having our normal starters back, having Dak Prescott for a season, and understanding that you're not really changing offensive coordinators because you got Brian Schottenheimer, who will be the play caller, and it's not his first rodeo as head coach. But I started thinking about this because, as they kept killing me and telling me how stupid I am and that you're falling for the trap and everything else, that this is just business as usual for the Joneses. And I'm going to say, I don't think it is. Because I got started thinking about this. We have very few coaches that are coming back from last year. Every single coordinator is somebody different. Bones Fossil, who's been here for quite a while, is gone. Of course, Mike McCarthy, who was head coach, is gone. Mike Zimmer, Al Harris, all these guys are gone. And I look at this and I say, we got our tight end coach back, and we got Schottenheimer. Am I missing anybody else that's coming back from the staff other than the training staff? Because this is completely starting over. And so I started thinking, had the Cowboys done this, or excuse me, has Jerry Jones done this before? Now, I can't remember if when Tom Landry was fired, if anybody was brought back from the coaching staff, but I don't think so. I think everybody that was brought in was all brought in with Jimmy Johnson. So when we go through the lineage of the Cowboys, when Jimmy Johnson was let go or mutually agreed to rescind being the coach of the Cowboys, you brought in, of course, Barry Switzer. They didn't change the whole coaching staff. They just changed Barry Switzer. And then after they got Barry Switzer, and you ended up getting Dave Campo? No, it was Dave Campo was after that. I can't remember. But basically, Barry Switzer left, and then Chan Gailey came in, okay? They didn't get rid of the whole staff because I think you still had Mike Zimmer who was on the staff and so on. So they didn't change the whole staff there. And then after Chan Gailey, you had Dave Campo. When Dave Campo left, they didn't clean house. In fact, because that was the one I said, well, maybe they cleaned house after Dave Campo. Because as I was going through my head, I was just saying, no, the Cowboys always kept pretty much the same coaching staff. And so I double-checked on this. And my question was, did the Dallas Cowboys fire the entire coaching staff when they got rid of Dave Campo? No, the Dallas Cowboys did not fire their entire coaching staff when they got rid of Dave Campo. Instead, they changed the responsibility of some of the members of the coaching staff, including Campos. In fact, he was rehired in 2008 as their secondary coach to replace Todd Bowles while working for Wade Phillips. So even when you lose your job with the Cowboys, you can bring you back. So they didn't fire everybody when Bill Parcells came in along with Sean Payton. Sean Payton goes to the Saints, Bill Parcells retires, and you end up bringing in Jason Garrett as your offensive coordinator and Wade Phillips as your head coach. But they kept the same coaching staff pretty much there. Basically reshuffled the deck some. And, of course, when Jason Garrett was let go, we still had Kellen Moore, who was the offensive coordinator and things. We did end up getting a new Rod Martinelli was let go, but you ended up getting, what was his name from San Francisco? Can't remember. It was that bad. It was 1 year. But they didn't replace the whole coaching staff. They kind of tweak it. This would be the first time since firing Tom Landry that the Cowboys have basically wiped the slate clean and started over completely. Because usually it's always nepotism of, this is a former player, this is a former, coach. We're going to elevate from within. Yes, they elevated Brian Schottenheimer from within, but he's not really a Cowboy guy, so to speak. He was brought in by Mike McCarthy 3 years ago, basically as a quality control guy, then became the offensive coordinator, but not the play caller. So you can look at this and say, this is totally different than what the Cowboys traditionally do. This is also the youngest staff that I believe that the Cowboys have had. Jimmy Johnson's staff was pretty young, but I'm not sure it was quite this young. So if you're asking me, do I think that the Cowboys are doing things different? This is totally different than what they've done. Because now, all of your coordinators are somebody different that they've got to get to know. We won't know what kind of look that we're going to be doing on defense. The offense is going to change. The Cowboys, you should feel excited that this probably won't be as predictable. And they may have a little advantage coming out the box because people don't know what to expect about them. And maybe, I don't know, the Cowboys could very easily revert back to their penny pinching selves and not do anything in free agency until we see that they actually do. We shouldn't hope for it or believe it, but I feel like they are doing some things different. And so that's my response to Momo and Leo, our resident Eagle and Commander fan that are always just here to trash the Cowboys. All I can say is let's wait and see what happens. So, oh, and shoddy shots, which works, which truly works. If the Cowboys have a great play and a touchdown, hey, shoddy shots around. Or if they're ass, oh, give me my shoddy shot. You know how we roll. I'm Mark Holmes, and I hope you guys are having a great Saturday night. And peace out.